Welcome to our 5 on 5. Pleased to welcome in Kelly Matting, Ashland City Administrator. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
So on the job now, a little over a year. You went from Jackson County Planning, where as we were joking, the last several years you were dealing with all levels of marijuana, of course, implementation at the state and county level, and then Deputy City Manager in Medford, and now Administrator, which is City Manager in effect for the City of Ashland. How's it going so far?
You know, I really like it. I think it's going really wonderful. There's a lot of challenges in Ashland, but that's normal for local government. But it is challenging and exciting and exhilarating, and so I'm really enjoying myself. Yeah,
$2 million budget deficit the city's been dealing with this year. It's something you've been tackling for months now. I guess, where do things stand now?
You know, that was a difficult part of coming onto the job and having that, but we got through it. The council did kind of two things. One, reduced some staffing and added some revenue. So we looked at kind of a dual approach, not all cuts and not all new revenue, but kind of a combination of the two, and I think we're steady this biennium.
Okay, and you mentioned, you know, with the county job, I should say, you were there in that position for 15 years.
Yes. With
the county, so tons of experience with commissioners and on all levels with that, and with the city of Medford for one, you know, before taking this gig. Has it been different being the top dog, if you will, for the city versus your prior experiences?
Yes, I mean, being the number one is different. I mean, it's heavier. Certainly. I mean, it's heavier, and I think it's more enjoyable. You get to do some things that I probably didn't get to do when I was the deputy or I was with the county, but at the same time, it's a level of responsibility that's significantly different.
And what's it like having 6 bosses, 6 counselors and the mayor? So 7? 7. So we all have bosses, you know, for the most part. Everybody's watching.
Right.
What's it like to have that many bosses? Is that, you know, we can't imagine, most of us, what that's like.
It's a lot. You know, thank goodness for email. You can kind of send something out to all of them at one time. But they're all a very cohesive group. A little bit different. They have nuances of things that they're interested in or things that they're passionate about, things that they don't like. But for the most part, they're a very solid group of people who kind of come together in a civil way and treat me that way as well. So I don't know that I could ask for much better. I mean, 7 is a lot, more than a lot of people, but it's a really good group.
Yeah, and it's part of the gig.
It is
so you
part
know
of
what
the
you're
job.
going in,
That's
you know
right.
what you're getting into.
That's right.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break.
Okay.
Much more in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Ashland City Administrator Kelly Matting. We were talking about the $2 million budget deficit the city's been dealing with this calendar year and everything that's been going on. But a lot's being done with the infrastructure and also battling that deficit. What have you accomplished in the last 14 months on the job, and where do the priorities lay moving forward?
You know, I think we are looking at some infrastructure improvements, certainly. And that has been in the process before I got there. Water treatment, a new water treatment plant, looking at doing some street improvements, looking at doing a few wastewater improvements. So there's capital projects that are ongoing. In addition, I think the other piece that I'm trying to accomplish and working toward is developing a financial sustainability plan, looking out over the next 10 years and trying to determine how much revenue we're going to be getting, what our expenditures are going to be, and trying to plan for that, to give the council some picture of what it's going to look like in the future and some decisions that they can make now that might modify those outcomes in the future. So that's what I'm working toward. Yeah,
and I imagine that tourism is something that Ashland obviously relies on greatly. In the last couple of years have been hurt by fire seasons. This year, certainly hope it's been a bounce back. Certainly looks like it. How do you project that moving forward?
You know, it's tricky because when you have smoke events like we've had, and those are unpredictable, I think we have projected conservatively, and that's what I'm looking at, kind of projecting conservative.
Sure.
Looking at that growth over time. I mean, Ashland has done a good job of attracting people on the shoulder season, using culinary, using outdoor activities. So I think there may be a little bit of a movement from everything focused on the summer to things focused more on the months that may not be August. August may be a more we may have more speculation about August.
Okay.
Given-
Yes, maybe especially conservative time of year.
Right.
Okay. And I have to ask you, you recently declined a raise, or tried to, I should say. You,
Right.
explain that to us, why you would decline a raise.
Well, I looked at it, I have taken on the duties of the finance director because we were looking at, that's one of the cuts we made, which I think has been very good for me in learning, delving into the finances. But I also wanted to have a policy on what happens to anyone else who takes on another 40-hour-a-week job or something like that. And that's what I was explaining to the council, is I would just have preferred, I wanted a policy. But they looked at it.
Drawn out in black and white, what
That's
that
right.
looks like.
What it looks like, who gets it, when does it happen, how much is it, those kinds of things. And so that's kind of what I was looking at. But the council went ahead and did it anyway, which was their prerogative, and I'm still moving forward with the policy.
Okay, and that's something that can be applied to any job
Yes.
under the city leadership.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, well, great to see you. Thank you for the explanation.
Oh, very
Good
nice to see you again.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.